We spend an absolute fortune searching for the fountain of youth. We look for it in all these questionable supplements and experimental drugs. But what if the most powerful, the most proven tool for a longer, healthier life was completely free? And not just free, but accessible to every single one of us. It's a really fascinating paradox, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What if the so-called gold standard for slowing down the aging process wasn't hidden away in some high-tech lab, but was actually something you could start doing, like, today? Well, it turns out it is. And the answer is surprisingly simple. A moderate 15 to 20% reduction in how many calories we take in.
And when you actually put the two approaches side by side, it's pretty striking. In animal experiments, just simple calorie restriction consistently leads to a 10, even 30% increase in lifespan. I mean, that effect is often stronger and more reproducible than even the most promising anti-aging drugs out there, things like rapamycin. The evidence? It's just incredibly compelling. Okay, so this is the longevity paradox, right at its core. If this method is so powerful and so accessible to everyone, why isn't everybody doing it? Well, the answer usually boils down to one single and very understandable fear.
And look, on the surface, that makes perfect sense, right? If you're constantly in a calorie deficit, your body's got to be burning through its reserves, and that just can't be good for you in the long run. But this way of thinking completely overlooks a crucial piece of the puzzle, a truly brilliant feature of our biology.
So here's the thing. This isn't about slowly starving yourself. Not at all. It's about triggering a highly intelligent, adaptive response, a system that's literally designed within us for survival and, yeah, for longevity.
And that brings us to this really key concept, metabolic adaptation. See, our energy expenditure isn't some fixed number. Our bodies are incredibly smart. When our energy intake goes down, our energy output adjusts to match it. This isn't a bug in the system, it's a fundamental design feature.
So here's how it actually works, step by step. First, you reduce your calorie intake. That creates a temporary deficit. Then, your body responds by becoming way more efficient, lowering its energy burn rate until expenditure matches intake again. You've simply established a new, more economical balance. So here's the huge takeaway here. If you've ever hit a weight loss plateau, guess what? You've experienced this firsthand. It's not a sign of failure. It doesn't mean your metabolism is broken. It's actually a sign that your body has successfully adapted to its new reality. Okay, so we know what's happening on the big scale, but what's going on inside our bodies when this new balance is struck? Let's zoom way in, down to the microscopic level, because this is where the real anti-aging magic actually begins. Okay, deep inside our cells, you can think of it like there's this master switch called mTOR. Now, when energy is abundant, mTOR is flipped on. It's telling cells to grow, to multiply. That's essential, of course, but it's like a construction site that never closes. It creates a lot of chunk. But when energy is less available, mTOR switches off. And this pause from building signals the cell to start repairing damage and cleaning up waste through a process called autophagy. It's basically a deep cellular cleaning. And the benefits of flipping into this repair and clean mode? They are huge. We're talking about improved insulin sensitivity, reduced chronic inflammation, and a healthier gut. That enhanced cellular cleanup is so important because it helps clear out all the damaged parts that can lead to age-related diseases. The body basically starts fixing itself way more efficiently. So, this all sounds amazing, right? But how do you actually do it safely? Well, that brings us to the single most important rule of this entire process. And if you get this wrong, the whole thing just falls apart. And this is the absolute non-negotiable part. This is not about malnourishment. Not even close. You have to think of it like a precision strike. You are targeting a reduction in overall energy, calories, while you maintain or even increase the density of essential nutrients. So what do we need to keep? What are the essentials? Well, protein is absolutely crucial to preserve muscle and function. And of course, you need a full supply of vitamins, minerals, and fiber to keep all your body's systems running just right. It's not about eating less food. It's about choosing more nutrient-dense food. And when it comes to protein, we can get super specific. The research suggests a target of around 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight every day. This is so important for making sure your body adapts the right way instead of losing precious muscle.
Okay, so if we're keeping all that good stuff, where do we cut the calories from? Well, the easiest targets are the foods that give us a lot of energy but very little else. We're talking sugary drinks, ultra-processed snacks, refined carbs like white rice and pastries, all the things that provide empty energy without those essential nutrients we just talked about.
All right, the science makes sense. The rules are pretty simple. So why is this so incredibly hard to do? The final boss in this whole challenge isn't your metabolism, it's not your hunger, it's the 3 pounds of complex wiring right between your ears. I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? We know we should eat the salad, but we want the donut. This huge gap between what we know and what we do is a universal human struggle, and it's rooted in how our brains are designed.
And this perfectly captures that internal tug of war. You've got your logical, goal-setting brain providing top-down control, focusing on all those long-term benefits. But it's in a constant fight with these bottom-up impulses from a more primitive reward system that is screaming for instant gratification. And this is such a crucial insight. When you give in to that craving, it's not because you're weak. It's a reflection of how our brains are wired to prioritize immediate rewards over long-term ones. So true success isn't about having superhuman willpower. It's about redesigning your environment and your habits to make the right choice the easier one.
So, all of this leaves us with one final big question to chew on. What if the real anti-aging breakthrough isn't some new drug that we have to buy? What if it's a new understanding of our own bodies? A new perspective that sees adaptation not as a problem to be fought, but as a powerful, built-in tool for a longer and a healthier life?